All right. Hey there.
Hey,
Thanks for signing in today.
yeah, no problem.
Kind of gloomy, a little gloomy outside.
I know it says I think it's gonna rain or something.
Yeah. I like
It's
that you always
cold.
have like bright colors on though. It brings some happiness.
I like yellow. It's one of my favorite colors.
Yeah, it's very sunshine-esque.
Yeah.
Um, okay, well, I see that you're in your usual spot,
hmm
feeling good about meeting today.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Um, And I just wanted to check in and see like how your previous week went. If there's anything that was challenging, anything positive happened.
I guess it's been kind of like feels like it's been a hard week. I've just been working like I'm like everything's just from home and I haven't been out a lot. Like all my classes are on Zoom. And yeah, I don't know. It's just been weird.
Feeling a little bit alone and isolated, maybe?
I mean, my roommates are here, but like everyone's just like we all stay in our rooms and stuff, and I see them like in passing every once in a while. Yeah. But it's like you're on Zoom and then you watch Netflix and then you sleep and then you do it again.
Yeah. How about last week's goal? Um, did you feel like you were able
Um,
to do anything related to it?
I did want to well, I wanted to like get out and my friend has been like in the pandemic to get out, like they started taking salsa classes in the park, like whoa, all fancy or whatever. But they invited me to go just because I like haven't been to see them in a few months. Um, and I don't know, I just got nervous like last minute and canceled. So I didn't go. I told them I would go next week, but I'm not sure. I'm just like, who's gonna be there? Like, what's the scene gonna be like? Is it gonna be people who are like down and cool, or people who are like kind of weird, or you just never know, like going into a new space like that.
Yeah, that's really true. I could definitely see, how some anxiety would come up or some uncertainty and then like putting yourself in that place and like the amount of energy it can take.
Yeah, yeah. I just don't know if I'm like I like know I should get out, but then I'm like, do I want to actually get out? Like, or do I just want to stay in my cozy pajamas in my bed, like stay warm? Not
Yeah.
hoping that it's getting colder too. I guess it was pretty warm during the day today. It's been like pretty warm for, I can't believe it's November. It's like, I thought it was October when I left the house today and it was warm. I was like, wow, it's a warm fall. It's supposed to be winter.
Yeah. It is nice to be cozy and like when it's wintry feeling, it can be
Yeah.
even harder to like you were saying get. Is that something that you might want to think about talking or more about or exploring more today?
Um, you mean like getting out of the house more and stuff?
I don't know. I kind of hear you saying that you would like to like maybe have some more social connections or you'd like to maybe just get out a little bit more. Maybe even just thinking about that, like what it might look like or
Yeah, yeah, I guess it's like I don't know, like I'm I'm just worried and I think if maybe it were maybe if there's like something that's like more fun for me or I can do something that's like still social that feels like just less of like a hard thing to do. Um yeah, maybe I shouldn't do something with so many fucking people. Like it's just like big groups, I feel like is not a good option for me to be starting out.
Yeah, like something with smaller groups that kind of feeds you more, like gives you energy and
Mm-hmm.
a little less pressure.
Yeah.
How is it? Is that something that is affecting your like overall well-being? Like, how's it affecting your sense of well-being? Like this social
Um,
piece?
I guess I'm feeling kind of down um recently, and I feel like I just spend a lot of time. I don't spend enough time doing things. Like I think I just spend too much time like sitting around and like just trying to like manage my moods. I'm like, whoa, this whole weekend, all I did was like try to like feel better, get into a good space. And then like I was in a good space, so I like watched some TV that I liked. And then I was like, just like, but I feel like I'm not really like doing like life. I'm just kind of like this whole last weekend was just and the week like after work and our school was just like taken over by trying to figure things out.
Yeah. What do you think is getting in the way of you getting out more?
Um, I think I'm like I do think I'm worried um and just like anxious, more anxious than I used to be, since the
Yeah.
whole pandemic and stuff. Like I feel like it's like how are we supposed to talk to people? Like I feel like I remember before the pandemic you would just like go to a spot and there would be someone you don't know and you just talk to them and then like now the last time I went to a dinner party or I went to a party with a friend for Halloween. And it's like you start talking to someone for a little bit, but then after like, hi, how are you? This is my name. Then it's like, what are you supposed to say? I just feel like I was like, okay, like I just ended up like exiting conversations kind of fast and then
Yeah.
like going to like talk to my friend. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been feeling kind of like a little bit down and missing some of the social connections lately.
Yeah.
And it's like the anxiety of like getting back into, or even just like figuring out how to, like you're saying, it's so like since the pandemic, so many of us are like, how do we talk to people again? How do we,
Mm-hmm.
like, what does this look like post pandemic, with
Yeah.
all these different things? And that's kind of like been getting in the way of you really like being able to go out and connect with people, which it sounds like is something you want to do that would help you feel better and like
Yeah,
is important to
definitely.
you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It definitely feels like it's been hard to connect with people.
Yeah. Have there been any times that you have gotten out and connected at all? Like,
Um, um, I, I mean, it's still okay seeing some of my close friends who I've like stayed in touch with. That's felt like pretty good. Like I went on a walk around the lake the other day with a friend of mine, and that felt fine. Yeah.
yeah. So maybe like taking some smaller steps, it sounds like you were saying. Like
Yeah.
maybe not like big crowds, like kind of like thinking, oh, that might be nice, but some of the smaller things like taking a walk with a friend or
Yeah, I think that's like so just like one-on-one hangs, I think is like a good thing to start. And maybe like small group hangs, like going to the movies. I feel like going to the movies is a good thing too. I should do that. Because it's like you don't have to talk the whole time, or you don't have to like, you know, maybe that should be my new thing. I'll like go to the movies with people. Yeah, it's like you can just let the movie do the talking and then you have something to talk about afterwards. And yeah, it's not so pressure to like talk the whole time or figure out what you're gonna do next. It's like just provides like a planned activity.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes being around, like having those close connections too, gives you, some of that energy to,
Yeah.
yeah, not feel so alone and like in a safe way, like start making those connections in a way that feels good again.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Are there any like I wonder if there's any do you have any like groups? I'm a little
Yeah.
nervous about going to something that's like where I don't know anybody, but it might be like if there was like a HIV positive youth group or something like that that I could go to. I think that might be a good like
Yeah, like a space where you can
thing.
connect with other people too. And it sounds like get some support also around like from other people. And I know we've talked about that in other sessions too, maybe like a place
Mm-hmm.
where you might be able to like talk to other people who like have a similar experience. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I can send you, some of those that might be fun. And if another thing too is thinking about like those things that you like enjoy doing, like
Mm-hmm.
and there are groups around that too. So maybe like doing an activity together, like you
Yeah.
were saying, like the movies, or like actually doing something that you enjoy together. So it's not, there's like already that shared common interest,
Right.
and then being able to do something like just getting out. And then like for the anxiety part too, there's some different apps actually that are can some people find helpful for like social anxiety. Um,
Yeah. Like
even
what kinds?
there's like one that actually it's like a forum. It's like an app, but it's a forum where people just kind of like talk about their experiences with social anxiety and what they're doing that helps them.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, oh hey, this helped me, or that's helping me. And then there's another one um that's cognitive behavioral therapy focused, and it just helps you like identify your thoughts and like some of the things that are triggering your anxiety and help you kind of walk through that, what it looks
Mm-hmm.
like, how it's connected to those kind of your fears and emotions,
Mm-hmm.
and like gives you techniques to like breathing, mindfulness, some of those
Mm-hmm.
things, setting an intention, like some of those things,
Mm-hmm.
um, those resources that might be helpful.
Yeah,
Just some
something
different
that sounds
options.
good. I
I can
would
kind
be
of just send you
into.
several things and you can see what,
Yeah, I'd like that. That would be cool.
yeah. It can be a big, can feel like a lot, I think, post pandemic, like where, it's really,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just also like having HIV and still feeling like, oh, I don't want to get this virus. Like my health is okay. It's been pretty good, but I'm also just doesn't, I feel like some people are like, oh, it's fine, like whatever. But then like some places you have to mask, and then sometimes I just don't know when to mask always. It's like,
yeah,
and I yeah, I got COVID once in the pandemic and it was like really bad. I don't want to get it again. I'm kind of worried about like I've had a little bit of like it feels like every time I get a sore throat now it's like longer, and I'm like, oh, is that because of COVID and because I got COVID once and now I just like when I get a sore throat it's just like a sore throat for a longer time. Like I don't want that, to like
yeah,
happen again.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty miserable. And then like if somebody else is like, oh, not feeling well, or they say something, then you're kind of like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah, it can
exactly.
like bring up, and being like you were saying in bigger space, larger spaces too, can
Yeah.
definitely trigger some of those things. So, um, well, like in talking about some of the different, options, it sounds like you like maybe going to the movies was one that you're interested in. Like what do you think? Are there any of those that you would want to set as a goal for this week of something to do?
Yeah, I think salsa classes is too much, but I think a goal is to like hit that friend up and see if they want to go see a movie instead. and do like a one-on-one hang and like see about another friend who's I have a friend who's like pretty into movies, and I wonder if we could start going more regularly or like start a thing to go with other people.
Yeah. Like how confident do you feel on a scale of 1 to 10 that you could do that this week or that you'd want
I'm
to?
like I'm an 8 out of 10 confident that I can send a text message, and then I'm like a 6 out of 10 confident that I'll like want to do it,
Yeah.
when it comes to it, because I'm like, oh, maybe I'll be tired that day. But I could definitely send a text message, and I feel like I'm like a 7 or 8 out of 10 that I would enjoy it and like have a good time.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to ask too. Is like, how would it feel if you did do it? Like,
Yeah,
what would the benefits
I
be?
think it would feel good, and if the movie was good too. It also depends on the movie. Like, I don't want to see like a crappy movie that
Yeah.
just like gets me down or whatever. But
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, that sounds good. And we kind of talked, in a past session too about like SMART goals. And sometimes like in order to like have a goal be successful, it's helpful to like set a specific time and day and like pick out the movie you like at like a time that you're not going to be tired and some things
right.
like that. So you kind of know it's sort of like a little bit of built in a plan.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
wonder when this week would be good. I'm like, let's see, what's today? Today's Wednesday.
Yeah.
I feel like people always have plans on Friday. But maybe Sunday. I feel like Sunday would be good, like Sunday matinee or Sunday afternoon or evening time. That might be a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds great. And then I'll send you that little goal reminder text to this week. So it'll
Mm,
come in a few days and it'll just kind of remind you of your goal.
mm. Okay, that will
Yeah.
help.
And then I'll also send you the resources and you can just let me know too if you want to keep talking about this, have any more menu sessions about it. We can also kind of continue the conversation.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it would be good to check in and just like if I can just get to the spot of like getting out for a movie every once in a while, I think that'll
Yeah.
be a good
And I also think it might
success.
be helpful, like some of the resources on like maybe seeing if it continues to be something that's like really tough, seeing that counselor that we talked about, or even there's even like group therapy, for anxiety too, where that might be something that's helpful too to just kind of give you some strategies and tools.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that would be I'd be interested in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send those your way and thanks for chatting about this with me.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks
Yeah.
for having this session.
Yeah, and I will see you next week.
I'll see you next week.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye.